on here. Okay, well, we're back after getting the routers put together and working, set up somewhat anyway. Um, I've got my D-Link set up as the main. Let me make sure my stream is all working good and everything. And okay, now I guess I will shut down the. Well, I can pause it and leave the browser open over there on the laptop. Today I got the laptop going just for. Sorry, been in the dust and it's getting to me. So I've got it. I've got one of my phones. None of my phones will work on my video right now, but that's fine. I really just want to do a desktop video. So I have my phone 3 turned on with the Wi-Fi Analyzer app that you can see here, and that the blue one on the right, DonsDeals 2.4 gigahertz. I left it set in the mode where it will combine them into one SSID. I just now realized. But that's what's showing up. That's the only one for it showing up. It shouldn't show them up separately, but I thought it would just say DonsDeals. As a matter of fact, well, I don't think I can show that. Anytime I go to the, it locks itself out so fast you can't do anything. But yeah, if I go to the Wi-Fi, it shows the password right there on the screen, so I can't show any of that stuff. If you go there, that'll show it, where the model numbers on top, and that's the picture of the router. That's actually the Wi-Fi section. Quick, and then connected clients. I can't remember what's in there. I don't think there's any passwords, but I won't go there right now. Then if you go into settings, you go to wireless. If you go to wireless, it'll show all the passwords. Internet's okay. I could go to. I mean, it's okay for me to show you. I will show you some of this in a minute, but. This is the main page when you first log in. Gives you your MAC address, your IP address. Oh, it's completely different. That just showed me something, that right there. I've been trying to get my server. I can see it. I can see that I can go straight to the IP address, the local IP address, and that's my website, or my main page of my website. But if I try to go to my dynamic host name, it won't go there. So I just realized something. Let's see if I go to that IP address there. That's an external IP address instead. There you go, instead of internal. I think I just realized why I can't get there, because when I left my modem unplugged for a while, and that'll usually give you a new IP address from your ISP. And so I think all I need to do is just go to my afraid.org thing, and I found out that D-Link they'll offer you one too through Dyndy, and that's who I used to use. But it's looks like it's only free. It's free, but only for about 6 months. But okay, so that shows me that I should be up. I'm showing up on the internet, but my host name's not working because I went ahead and plugged my router straight into this. By the way, the reason I'm talking about all this, I plugged my web server straight into this router, and hoping to get that to work, because every time I had to reboot my TP-Link, then if I didn't sometimes if it would go ahead and pick it back up, and the forward would all work. Something about the TrendNet, the way it works or doesn't work. It would work, but lately it just wasn't working every time, and I'd have to, if I didn't remember to reboot the TrendNet, then my website would be down, and I wouldn't notice it sometimes, unless if I have my Thunderbird email going up and running, then I'll notice it, but because I'll get a notice from them. See, it's already logged out. It don't stay logged in no time at all. So I'm glad I went ahead and saved my password in there. For that reason. But yeah, okay. Now I kept trying. I started trying to set up the dynamic DNS stuff that's in here. I went ahead and set up. Let's see, I have a static route. So no, I didn't set up a static route because I couldn't remember all the things, and I'm so tired. I just thought I would kind of run through this and then quit. If I can get my web server back online, then that'll be really good. But I did set up, yeah, dynamic DNS. I didn't set up. I was trying to set it up, and I noticed that it had a D-Link. You got to sign up for an account. That's not going to work. You'd have to do manual. Oh, it let me set it up. So what I need to do is disable it. Oh, if I hit save, then it's gonna, I think it's gonna reboot the router and break my video. I can't remember. I was trying to do the things that would reboot the router first, you know. I won't do anything right now. I'll wait till I get done with the video. But yeah, I need to go ahead and get that out of there. It should be on manual. But anyway, I'm not sure. I don't know that I didn't have to use it this dynamic. Well, I used to use DynDNS. It's one of, there's only 3 choices in here. I saw, that's how come I figured it out. D-Link, DDNS. I thought, oh, well, let's try that out. And I used to use Dyn for years. They were free, and then they stopped being free. Manual would be what I would use to use mine. Mine is afraid.org. It's a free DNS outfit that is still free, and that's my IP address that I was able to get from them. I mean, my domain name, my subdomain name that I was able to get. And so when you go there, I have that set to forward to my. Well, I have my domain names. I have 3 of them set to forward to this one here. Different pages on this, you know, on my website. And it works fine. It's not ideal, but it works. But yeah, that's what I needed to do then. Okay, so well, let's go through here a little bit, and I'll probably do that after the video because I'm not even sure if I have to. Might have to type in a password that could be seen. I don't think so, but let's see. The wizard, we go there. Yeah, and if you've started to change something and then you don't, then they'll ask you that. So I said, okay, then I don't want those changes saved right now anyway. But this would be where you would, you know, set it up through the wizard. But I did that the first time. If you look at my previous video, you see I went through the whole thing live on a live video. And then I got to the point where it was going to, you know, it just said, I don't think it said save. I think it said exit or something, or done or something, and it wouldn't do anything. And finally, I thought, well, maybe if I wait, maybe it, you know, I didn't want to lose all my work. But finally, I ended up just doing that, and it did lose all my work. And so I had to go. And then next time I logged into it, though, after I ended up rebooting it because I wasn't sure if it was going to work right or whatever. And I can't remember. I didn't go straight back into it. You know. Anyway, I don't remember all the details. Anyway, once I got back in here, I think I was in here, but I wasn't sure. I just rebooted for good measure, I think, more than anything. And anyway, this is where I ended up, and then I started going through the settings. I could show internet, but not wireless. Dynamic, you know, that's the most common way, and that's what I use. That's what I need with my ISP. And then wireless I won't show you simply because it's got all my passwords front and center there. I did go ahead and put my domain name in there. I don't think it really made any difference as to, you don't really have to do that to use a forwarding service like that. It's going to your IP, not your domain name, you know, but it kind of, sometimes it's helpful. Some it depends on the router. Some routers, if you don't put it in there, it won't work, and some of them it doesn't matter. This is all about trying to get a web server to work on the internet. Now I have a web server, my web server on, you know, that I'm trying to get back on the internet. It's off now since I changed routers, you know. I used to have to put it on my TrendNet, not my TP-Link, the one that I'm changing. It was my main router because for some reason it would not work. You could set it up all day long and it looked like it would work, but it wouldn't work. And maybe there was something. Well, I read that other people said the same thing. It was happily let you set it up, but it never would work. So, and QoS, I'm not going to do any of that. Quality of service. You can, have you can do bandwidth settings. You could here's some connected clients, and there's something interesting that right there. Says BioStar unknown. That's my red black BioStar, which is too long of a domain name. So I learned that the hard way by using too long of a host name, not domain name. Don't make it so long and it will work. I don't know how many characters you can get away with, but you can get away with that many Lenovo Wi-Fi. But anyway, but it's not running. But there's something about that motherboard. I know that it will charge through the USB when it's off. I know it has several features because I bought that motherboard and built it. Well, I used an old PC that I think got hit by lightning, but the memory and the processor were still good. And the motherboard was bad, and I bought that motherboard for it. And anyway, it's not even the original box. It used to be a Gateway, but it was my main computer for several years, 4 years or 5 years. But so I think it has some fancy. I think besides the USB shouldn't do that, but I think it has some fancy Wake on LAN stuff to it too. So I don't think I could wake it up. I could try, but I don't want to right now. It'd be interesting. Well, it's not asleep. It's turned off, but most of them have to just be asleep, and then you could wake them up. Anyway, it's showing up, and that's all that's showing up. That's all that's on here right now, and that is the ones I do actually have plugged in. And this is the one I'm streaming from. That's my server, and its host name is Bishop Co, and it's an IBM. And then the BioStar, that's the motherboard, is what it is. That's the brand of it. I call it the red black BioStar anyway, so because that's the motherboard I had in it. And the firewall. It defaulted to have all this stuff saying disabled. I turned these on, and then I turned them. Well, you don't want the DMZ on, but these two here, it kind of threw me for a loop because I was like, well, what are we saying here? Or if it's like that, does that mean they're on, or what? But finally I decided that these were on by default. I did, and I left them like they are. Actually, you see, these are services, though, and they're enabled. But then it says IPv6 simple security enabled. Oh, and if I change them, I'll have to reboot, so I won't do that. I'll probably go ahead and turn these on, but I wanted to make sure I got my server going first. An SPI. It doesn't give. This is all it gives you. It does. It's the least controllable firewall I've ever seen. It's so odd that I don't quite have to sit there and think real hard to even try to understand it. It's just you don't have any real control much at all. So I don't like that for sure. Because especially when you're trying to run a web server, there may be specific things you want on and off, and you can go into and set up rules, which can get kind of complicated. But I have done that before. But I just showed you that I can get to my server. So from the local net and the internet, from my external IP, that's my external IP that my ISP gives me. So nothing's stopping me, in the settings right now. So I don't need to set up any rules or anything. And then port forwarding. Let's see, did I set that up? Yeah, I've already did that, and I think I was able to get to it on the local local network before I did that, and then it worked. But anytime somebody anytime somebody tries to go to port 80 on my external IP there, when I get my domain name pointed to it, it'll be the same thing. I want them to go to port 80 to go to the IBM's server. I just put that in there to make sure I knew exactly which machine that was. And then virtual server, I went ahead and set that up because I figured they needed to both be on. So I went ahead and set up port 80, and then I didn't even remember that, but you can select. And 443 is the internet port. I think I can show that as long as I don't save it. Application name, you get to select. That's actually made it simpler in this case. But I select HTTPS. I don't think I actually have any secure, but some A lot of browsers these days don't want to even go anywhere unless it says HTTPS. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and I think I don't know what will happen. They may just get an error because I'm not sending a set. I don't have anything on my server that even supports that I can think of. But anyway, I turn it on just in case it would help. If I find out it's causing a trouble, then I'll turn it. Delete that one. You can do other things that I'm not going to be doing right now. Oh, there's wake on LAN. See, I could set that up for one that if I wanted to wake one up by just going to it by like remote desktop or something like that. But I don't use the web browser. Well, it would be fine. You don't have to be using the web browser. If I said wake on LAN on port 5900, 5800 is through the web browser. For remote desktop, 5900 is through the application. That is a VNC application. Now that would, and you can't change those ports, but that's the default ports. And then computer name, and see, it shows you what you could pick from. And that one there, unknown. Now I know what it is. That's the red black BioStar. And one good thing, this is a 192.168.0, but these are all way up and above. I must start with 100 or something. What my TP-Link does, it's like 1 to 100, I think, or 200. Actually, I think I don't remember what it is, but it starts with higher numbers. So far, I don't. I mean, they're not. I was afraid they were going to fight, and I would have to change the TP-Link's whole IP range. But I think it's working because I'm able to show whenever I left that phone on the TP. It's still on the TP-Link. And the strength of them will go up because I've let this sit here and run because I got sidetracked. Really, I meant to go straight into my video, but my server wouldn't come up. It's been an hour or two that I've been fiddling with that, and it's not responding very quickly. Doesn't change real quick. What I'll do, sometimes it'll just won't change until I move. Like if I turn the phone up and down like that, and then turn it back down. I know that it's changing. See, now it actually went away, and it may sit there for a long time and not refresh. And that's the remote desktop being slow. It is over Wi-Fi, but that's pretty quick right there. But you can kind of see there that it's not refreshing the screen really well. But it's staying around in that range. When I first started with watching this, they were both almost at the same level. But maybe I'm hoping since the TP-Link is not like knocked in half or anything, and since the D-Link is way up here in the 9 to 13 channels, and then this one is down there. That's where I put it in on channel 7, I think. They're not going to fight each other or anything, and they're way strong. And luckily, they're way stronger than everything's kind of blurry there. It's not refreshing good. Anyway, they're way stronger than everything else, and there's a lot down there kind of in the general area. It looks like they're all on channel 6, and then there's a lot down there on the channel 1 area. I don't know if somebody must have got wise and started moving their stuff around to the empty areas. I tried it down in those low channels, and it seemed like when I first got this app, and it seemed like it didn't work very well down there, so I don't want to get down there again unless, well, it's pretty full down there now. If I was going to go anywhere, I'd go like channels 3, 4. You could try. Well, I wouldn't want to try like channel 8, 9 because then that would be right in the middle of. Oh, now it finally refreshed. Yeah, completely refreshed. Be right in the middle of my new router. I was thinking I might have to turn off the TP-Link and just run the D-Link. That's what I didn't even realize it until I got my mobile phones and got this app that when I was running my Linksys and my TP-Link for a couple of years, probably even longer, might have been 3 years, both at the same time, just thinking, it should be fine. I think I knew about the channels and that you shouldn't walk on each other. I think I tried to separate them just without having anything to monitor it, by just kind of guessing by gosh, just okay, I'll separate them, by choosing different channels. I tried it both ways though. I don't remember honestly exactly what I did when, but I know I'm pretty sure I tried them both automatic and like both manual. There it is changing. See, they change a lot. All kinds of things interfere with radio signals. So when there's so much saturation of radio signals these days, so many wireless devices. Wireless devices don't go, but like if I was to walk to the other side of my neighbor's house, like I'm here in the wall to the outside right now. I mean, my routers are the closest to one of my neighbors as it could be. They're right here in the window, and then they have what used to be their garage, but it was turned into a den years ago. So it's a brick wall with no windows. Then there's like whatever they have in there, and what I'm saying is, if I was to walk down to the other end of their house, I can't think in the distances right now, but just a normal, 3-bedroom house. Well, of course, houses are different sizes. This one, I think this house, including the garage, is like 1,200 and a half to 1,300. I think it's not even quite 1,300 square feet, including the garage. That's about the size of all these houses here. So anyway, I would probably barely even detect my signals at all if I walked down to the other end of his house. Now, the other neighbor on the other side, years ago, before I even had a wireless router, we used to kind of mess around. He's the one that gave me the computer. Not the dad, the guy that owns the house, but the son. I'm a lot older than him. We grew up next door to each other, but we really didn't get to know each other until years later after we were old. But he still lived there until just a couple of years ago. And I moved away, got married, and then came back. So anyway, we used to go mess around. I would help him with computers, and then he was always getting a hold of old computers from people, and I would help him with stuff he would get stuck on, and so anyway, he had a couple of wireless routers. And he really didn't know how to set them up, and I did. I guess I had one. I already knew. I already had at least one because I already knew how to set them up. Maybe I'd already had two of them. Yeah, I guess I had. But I didn't use them much because I didn't have any laptops or anything. I didn't have anything to use on. I knew how to set them up, but I didn't have anything to use them on. So I had already learned my zone net. I'd already learned how to set it up as a repeater, and so I set up he had something, D-Link, I think. He had something that we set up in my van out in my front yard for a while, just so we could mess with computers outside there as a repeater from my signal. And then later on, I set it up as a repeater for him, and he put it in his dad's travel trailer, and it made his signal stronger. With it set up as a repeater, it made his signal stronger so that he could, his Wi-Fi would. I could see it better over here. I could see. There's one way that I could see signals, and I could see their strength before I got phones, and that was like with the zone net. And I think it might have been. I might have had one other router that would do it, but I do know it did it. It would do a site survey, or kind of like like this Wi-Fi analyzer, but it was called. I forget what it was called, but anyway, it would tell you what signals are in the area. I think this router will do that. I think this D-Link will do that. But I would probably have to go into the wireless and show you stuff I don't want to show you. But let's see, go into network. I think that'll be all right. No, that doesn't show anything. So anyway, I can't show what I was talking about, but it doesn't look like it was with a nice graph and everything. And it wasn't a real-time signal strength like this is, but you could see all the SSIDs in the area, and you could see what routers were in the area. And you could try to set up as a repeater. A lot of heck, hardly anybody back in those days even put passwords on their routers, and so you could connect to them if you wanted to. I didn't hang, like I said, I didn't have a phone or a laptop that was wireless, so I couldn't connect to them. But we fiddled around with his laptop once or twice, but like I said, I would set up a router out there as a repeater, and then could plug in to them in a regular desktop computer could plug into that router and get on the internet through my. That's what you can do. One of the cool things you can do with a repeater. So, yeah, and this router, this D-Link, will be a repeater. It has, but and it actually, I've never seen one like this, but it has an actual hard switch on the back, hardwired switch on the back that will turn it into a repeater. I guess it would be easier. I guess it's supposed to be easier. I don't know. I didn't try it. It's going to be my main router, but one day later, I might want to do that. But anyway, firewall, port forwarding. I just went through that. So this is what I set up. This is just the stuff that I'm interested in. What I'm trying to do here. Website filter. You could filter out, saying deny access, allow access clients to only these sites, and you could do stuff like that with it. I wouldn't, I'm not going to be doing anything like that. Static route is what I guess it's as far as I can tell, it's the only way. Sometimes there's address reservation, and sometimes some routers have address reservation and static route, and I really never have quite figured out why they have both and what would be the difference. But what I do want is I want an address reservation. I want my server to always get the same IP address. Otherwise, it'll, as soon as if it ever everything gets rebooted, like especially if the power goes out or something, that's when you get in trouble. When the power goes out and it comes back on, then you may get different IP addresses depending on what machines are on. At that time. And so sometimes you get away with it because if your server's on the first address that that it gives out, and it's always on, and everything else is, well, most of all my other machines I don't set them to boot back up if the power goes out. I think set them to stay off, and it's set to boot back up when the power comes back on. So sometimes you'll get away with it, but there's always that one time when it happens and you may not know it for long. I'll know it when my email tells me, but otherwise I wouldn't know it. When I didn't used to have that service to email me when my server wasn't reachable online, then I had I had some very long times when it was down and I didn't realize it. So, because I'd forget to check it, So, if I wanted to add a static route, the name of it, that could be, I would just call it the same as I did the other, like IBM server. Destination network, well, I would probably put, that was the external IP. I didn't remember what was in and then the mask, I think it would be 255.255.255. Gateway, that's where I'm a little going, what? I guess it would be the default IP address of this router. If I understand it right, metric, I don't even remember what the heck that is. And you only have one choice, WAN, but that would be what I would want. But that doesn't make sense to me, though. That's not what I remember. It's almost almost the way that it has the WAN on there and all that, wide area network. That's and that's internet, and that's what it stands for. That's almost like you're setting an outgoing instead of an incoming. So I'll have to read up on that. This router. It's so weird how routers. Every router I've got, each one of them's a different brand. Every one of them says the same thing in a different way, and some of it I think is even wrong terminology. Because I've learned over the years. I know what some of this stuff is. I forget. I'm worn out and tired right now. I'm forgetting everything. But I forget things a lot. But some of it I'm like, that's not even right, But whatever the case may be, you got to figure out what they're saying as to what you want to do. Even if you understand the basic principles, you still may go around and around with them. Yeah, it says unsaved stuff. No, I don't want to save any of that. Oh, okay, and that's my dynamic DNS that I don't actually want. It let me set that up, but it's not going to be working. So I want to take that out of there. I'll just hit disable and it should go away. It wouldn't let me save it at all when I was using manual, and I tried everything. I was looking through the instructions on how to do something like that on my afraid.org page, and it wasn't working. But now I think I know exactly what to do. And then quick VPN. No, I don't want to save that either. And I've really never gotten to learn exactly how to do VPNs. They could be very useful. I might try that, especially if it's not too hard. It's really not necessary to have a web server, but if you want to share files and stuff, that's when it would really be useful. And then, let's see, time and scheduling. Let's see, I set that earlier because it was on Eastern time and I'm in Central time. That was already on automatic, but up here it said the wrong time zone. So daylight saving time says disabled. I don't know if I want that on or not. Sometimes it works, sometimes it sets it at the wrong time because they don't, they change exactly when they do it sometimes. And then system log, they're not even turned on. I may turn them on later, but I was learning more and more about routers and how they're really running on the edge of what they can handle. Their software, so I don't know, the logging might just over. As a matter of fact, I read that in the I forgot what it's called, the open operating systems. I've been saying D-Link so much I can't think. DDWRT. DDWRT was saying, like if you're having trouble with your router not being able to keep up, if you're dropping if it's not working well, then turn off the logging and stuff. So it's not on, and I don't need it on. I may not really need it on. And then system admin upgrade. I'm not sure if there's passwords in there. Oh, I think there's. I think the only thing in there is the main login password, which is not showing. But no, I won't go there. Not sure. Upgrade. Now, if you wanted to upgrade your firmware, you can actually check for new firmware from D-Link right here. Or you could upgrade manually, and that's what you would do if you were going to do, DDWRT. I was looking to make sure there wasn't another section. And statistics, got some little graphs to tell you what you're doing. Now I've got some traffic. Earlier I looked at it and nothing was happening, but internet-wise, see there's different tabs. But I'm serving up a video right now, so I think I will start I left it going on my laptop so I could check it. I'll look over there. I had it paused. I won't show it. I don't have a way to show it right now. There's my LAN, my local area network, and I have my cameras running, so that's probably why there's so much. Well, that's LAN. There's no. I have my cameras running, but I can't connect to them from this machine now because they're all connected to the TP-Link router. But this machine, it's not Wi-Fi. It's just wired, and it's wired to the T-Link router. That's what killed my video before. I didn't think about that. Yeah, see, there's nothing. Well, this is not the TP-Link. This is the D-Link. So there's nobody connected to this wirelessly right now. And I thought I would go ahead and connect to it with something. I think I'll do that with that phone. I was going to do it with the Wi-Fi, earlier I had planned to do it with the. Let's just go back home since I don't really know what I'm doing. I had planned to do it. Oh, let's go ahead and do my server first. I had planned to do it with the laptop, but now I can't even. I don't think. I could connect to it if I did the right port forwarding. Okay, yeah, my signal looks good. I want to hear myself on there. Yeah. I was making sure I was still streaming and everything. I'm not sure where it is in the stream, but it's working. Okay. So my okay. I have to pause. So far, I've been doing all right with it. It started working hard. I heard the fan running as soon as I let it play, but I'm paused it. I think it'll be all right again. I could close the web browser. I'll let it see if it calms down. If not, I'll close the web browser. That YouTube admin page really is a live dashboard page. It's a lot of work for a machine. I don't want to listen to it. Sometimes you never know if it's going to quieten down. Quit. Sometimes you just have to close the browser to get it to catch back up again. So, yeah, so I can't remote desktop into the laptop now without doing some port forwarding, like I was showing there a minute ago. I would have to go to, I would have to do some more, I wouldn't necessarily have to do port forwarding. I could do, I think they're on the same tab. I need to do, you may have to do both. I'm not sure. I did it for good measure on this one. I might really only need virtual server to get my website up, I mean, it is working. I'm just not getting to it through my domain name. So I could do port forwarding to, for virtual remote desktop, I could send that to the other router. Let's see, how did I, clients, where did I see that? Oh, I think it was on the home page. Really going to take some, yeah, connected clients. There we go. See, now I can go in here and I don't know why that's all jumbled up. I guess because that name is long and it's bunching it together. But see, I've never seen that before. My Lenovo i5, that's the host name I gave it. But see, it's finding the manufacturer name of the motherboard is what it's doing. Because I know that because that's BioStar and IBM. I know that's the IBM. It is made by IBM. So this Lenovo i5, I never realized that the motherboard was not Lenovo brand. It's a Han High. Then there's a P there, and then I can't read it. And you can't read it. Or you can't highlight it either. So didn't ever click on. Oh, there we go. Han High Precision. IND, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's a capital I. And reserve IP. This is what I want. Glad I clicked on that. Parental control. So if I just click reserve IP, I'll get the same IP every time. But I think we'll probably have to do that. Oh, and I'll have to put that IP address in there. So I won't do that right now because almost every half the changes you do, the thing has to reboot, and it just does it when you click save. And of course, if my router reboots, then it's going to break my stream. But yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. I don't think I need a static route. As a matter of fact. Well, like I said, they use the same terminology for slightly different things, and sometimes. And I like to have, like say that most of my machines, I like to reserve the IP so that I know where it's going every time. And when I use remote desktop, I can find it, all that stuff. So it's like these three, all three of those, I'd want to reserve their IPs. This one, it has an IP. Even though it's not even running. So that's the only one that I think I have that does that. But but I'll tell you what, I won't click on, well, there's no point in clicking, well, I'll do it, but it's not going to come in, and it'll sit there forever trying to come in. This one, if I reload that, it's fine still, should be. That's going to its local IP address. This one is my external IP address on the internet. Let's see. I don't know where I want to go on there, but but those are all the afraid pages. I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe that's the last one I was at. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't show my, yeah, see the IP address right there? That's not right anymore. That's what's going on. I noticed, see, it was easy for me to notice that because it's now 47 and it was 71. I gotta get me a cough drop. Looks like it. I just realized I was able to go there without having to log in again. I think I might. I don't know if it stays logged in for a long time or until you get out. So this is a real nice one, real good one. I think they're actually out of Canada. But I've been using it for years now, several years, and it works pretty well. And this stuff is pretty complicated, and I have trouble. I don't mess with it very often, so it's hard to keep up with. I forgot how you can't type in there to change that. And on this page you can check. This was the last page I was on. You can check different types. Okay, enable dynamic DNS. See, like this is the one that looks like it's probably the most secure. They would recommend it. So I had been checking things. I don't know if you have to check both of those or what. But that won't make this work. That one's still trying to load. The reload button's not even up now because it hasn't finished trying to load yet. Sometimes you can click up there and hit enter and make it try again. Make sure I wasn't off of my showing what I'm talking about. Okay. Well, that thing doesn't do anything. Somewhere you can, maybe you just put your IP in there. Try that. And then it'll, whoa, okay. I don't think that's what I was looking for. I think it's saying that I didn't find it. It's going through all kinds of stuff. Now, how do I get back? I guess I'll just do that. But I need to change that. I think there's a different spot for changing that. Well, go back to the main menu. Yeah, update your records. Okay, now I think maybe this is it. I'm not sure what I'm going to get into. I'm not sure if I want to show this. That's why I'm kind of... Direct URL, widget script, curl script, quick example. Okay. There. Now it's showing, see, now it's showing the right IP. But that's not right yet. Edit record. You can use scripts. Add would be add another one. Oh. No, I don't want to add another one. Oh, and this is a cron job for Linux. Curl script. You could, oh, you could, it'll give it to you. See, I used to do that on my old server machine. I used to run, and it always worked. I used to do that with Dyn. I would run that some kind of script. I don't remember what it was. It could have been a cron job. Oh, I think I turned it off. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, off. Oh, now it changed. Now, turn it off, turn it back on. Now it's good. Okay. So, now let's try again. Hope. Oh, yay. So that's got me back online. See, now bishopco.us.2 is got me online. Of course, that's my local IP. That is the actual external IP. So until it gets changed, actually on my ISP, it doesn't change very often. So you can get by with that for months at a time. And if I get a notice saying I'm down, I'll check if I remember, I'll check my IP address, my external IP, and I'll just have to manually change it like that. Which that's kind of weird. Turn it off, turn it back on. There may be another way to do it. But now that I know that I can get to my new router, this is awesome because I was having to do that port forwarding to the old router to get it to work with the TP-Link. Now I can, and it has that, now if I can learn, I'll just learn how to set this up. Actually, it might work now. It might have been the only reason it didn't work before is because because it wasn't working. The wrong IP address was in there. I don't know. I'll probably try it one, but I'll just do it off the video because I'm pretty sure the router's got to reboot. Well, I don't know if I want to do it. I'm not going to do it today because I'm very tired. I've been in the dust. You can hear me coughing. I'm just going to close those. Quit confusing myself. I can't figure out where. I'm going to put that in there just so that I'll. Oh, it's not afraid.org. It's freednsafraid.org. I'll just put my name in front of it. There. So I can find that. I will look through all my jillions of. That still shows the old one up there, but it's good now. It's working now. Okay, so it should work for at least another few days, if not a couple of months. And oh, there's a logout button. I'm going to log out. And if I can type there, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, see, now that works, but it'll take me to the bishopco.2. It's taking a bit to come in, but it should be work. I think it'll be fine. Hope so. It's taking an awful while to load, but sometimes it just does that. But anyway, it already forwarded over to bishopco.us.2. Let's try a different one. I might have gotten too excited too soon. Seems like I can hear my hard drive rattling on the IBM, but it's not coming in. It should come in fast. When it's if it hadn't been rebooted for a long time and maybe it needs a reboot, it might do that. Not usually. Usually got to do with the routers. If it does that and it's working but it's not working right. Okay, so why is it not working on the domain names? I didn't do anything. I hit it again. Didn't do anything. Oh, you know what? It might be hung up still trying to do the last thing I gave it to do. Hit stop. Hit the X and then hit it again. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I forgot about what I need to set? Don't remember anything. I get my domains from GoDaddy, and then I have them set to go to bishopco.us.2. And then I just have to make sure that my external IP address is connected with bishopco.us.2. Okay, that works. Uh-oh. It could mean that I'm actually... See, your web browser will always take the shortest route when you put in a domain name. And it could be that it's going through the local network and not the internet. But that should take me, I thought, through the internet. Well, let me see if it's back online, then I should be getting a notice on my Thunderbird telling me that it's back online. Open up Thunderbird and see. I'll just leave it like that till it gets done. Oh, now it came up. And see, I have this hidden so that it doesn't show where it's going to. No matter, the only drawback to that is no matter what page you go to, you get the same exact name, which is not, that's not a problem, but well, if you bookmark it, it always goes, like if you bookmark that, that's what you're going to get. And if you bookmark, those are my album pages, by the way, where you can download my music. That's what you're going to get. So no matter where you go with it mask, it's called DNS masking, or no, not DNS masking. Maybe it is called DNS masking. But anyway, with it masked like that, that's what you get. Let's try the. There, now it's working. I don't know why it was behind. Maybe it hadn't finished updating everything yet. That's probably what it was. Yep. Okay. And what else do I have? Yep. Yeah. Okay, so all my domain names are working. Well, that one didn't quite. It's going there. it may not be through updating either yet or something. But it did. I know that it's trying to go to the right place. But that's not the server doing that. Do not believe. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm fine there. I'll just let that keep working. Okay, so see, I don't actually even need that. Well, I do need the dynamic DNS so that it will automatically update every time my ISP gives me a new IP address. And I don't think this is what I've done in here. I didn't go get me an account with D-Link, and it wasn't working after I did this either until I went, what I did just now in the video, put the right IP, that one there, into my Afraid thing, my free DNS thing. I don't know why I always remember afraid.org, but I don't remember freedns.afraid.org. Anyway, that's why I couldn't find it in my favorites, probably in my bookmarks. But yeah, I'll need to get this right here out of here. And I may try to put that. I know I won't do it today, but I need to go back and try to set that up again with the afraid.org thing, the stuff that they give me in there to use. There's like 4 different ways you could try to do it. Looks like I'll have to do the one with the password according to this right here. And that's so I want to use the one, I don't want to use one that sends the password in the clear if I can keep from it. You know, the old ones used to do that, but I'm not so sure. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm going to close that page. But I think everything's fine now, so I can quit. Well, okay, so there's some good things. There's some things that I like personally about this D-Link firmware, operating system, the admin pages, and some things that I don't care for a lot with the firewall. There's a lot of things, you know, the DDWRT firmware. I don't know why they call it firmware, really. It's a Linux operating system. An embedded system is what it is, embedded operating system. To me, these are full-blown operating systems. With the web server, that's what you're using as a web server to this admin pages. Now, firmware to me is something like what makes a CD or DVD drive work. You know, it's not a full operating system. It's what I would call firmware. See, things like that, things that are just the basic stuff to make the hardware work on something. That's what I would call firmware. But for some reason, they call it firmware on routers. And it had me, I thought, until I finally understood what it all was. I don't know, it didn't really completely click to me until recently when I actually put DDWRT on my, I think I've thought about it before and then forgot, but I put it on my Linksys to see if I could make it work right again, and it doesn't. I think it's just the hardware just wearing out. I mean, the firmware works great on it, but the speed that it's getting, the wired speed is like, the most I ever got was 45 megabits. Well, it's supposed, you know, it's 100 megabit wired connect. All on it's 100 megabits, and then the Wi-Fi, it was, when I tested it, it was like 19 megabits, and it should be 54. It used to always do 54, and I mean, the Wi-Fi used to do 54. Now the wired's doing 35 and 45. So there's something really wrong with it. I might later on go back to the original firmware and see if it went back to normal, and you know, maybe it's the DDWRT. I did upgrade it to another version too, and it didn't get any better. Maybe it doesn't work as good as I thought it would on there. I'll do that before I go putting it on the TP-Link, I think. Maybe. That might be a good idea. If I can remember, I may do that. Because if I put it, if I do, when I do winter, I'll probably put it on the TP link. I really like things like you could like the Linksys couldn't be a repeater, but with its normal firmware, but it can with the DDWRT. And there's other firmwares. I can use that as a guinea pig for other firmwares. And if I get one that makes it run like normal, at least again, you know. But it got to where it just couldn't logged out. It got to where it just kept having to be rebooted. I mean, it wouldn't run a full day without, you know, slowing down to where it wasn't, Wi-Fi wasn't usable. And actually now I realize the wired was slowing down too, and I was using it. I think I had my laptop plugged into it and going through it on the Wi-Fi both. So used to use it as the main Wi-Fi router because it was the strongest signal. It would work really well, you know, through in the living room and everything. It also was walking on the TP link. I finally figured that out once I turned it off for good. Until recently when I tried to mess with it again. But once I saw that it wasn't going to work, that's when I bought this D-Link. So if they work well together, that'll be fine to have them both. I have a sneaking suspicion that the same problem will be going on. That they, even though they're not on, you know, they're not in the same signal channel range. When I pick up my phone and put it in front of me and look at it, the signal grows a little bit. I'm not seeing it on the screen there. Actually, right now the blue one's going down a little bit, and the I don't know what just happened. I put my finger on there. It was the screen was going darker. Couldn't see it good. Anyway, it's not. It is in real time on the phone, but the remote desktop's not all that. Although now I just remembered one of the main things I was wanting to do. Okay, let's get out of this app. See, I can show you what I'm doing as long as it refreshes well enough. Now I'm going to lose my. What I'm going to do is try to go on to the. Right now, it's on the TP link. Now, if I go to the D link, I'll lose my remote desktop, but I can, you know, hook it back up. Oh, okay, I've got to type in the password. And that is hard to do. I'll do that later. Yeah, because doing it live, it would just, I'd have to go through so many steps. But, let's see, let's go back into that Wi-Fi app again. Yeah, if you first open it up with the phone stand, you know, if you've got the phone upright, then it's going to show upright. But if you turn, and it's harder to read that way, but if you turn it the other way, it's a lot easier to read. There we go. See, now the signal's a little stronger because I'm holding it up closer to the routers. It's in front of me, and that puts it another 2 feet closer to the routers. If I haven't gone off into the other room with this or anything. Last time I did this with the what did I do it with? Oh, I guess I was testing the TP link. Yeah, I was. I made a video. I went in there in the living room and I was testing it on. I was trying to make the Sony DVD. It's a smart DVD player. I was trying to make it work better. That's another one of the main. There's two main. That's another device that needs to be connected to the new. That's right. Needs to be connected to the new D-Link. That's hopefully this signal is going to be stronger in there. And right now I don't have my wireless. Well, that's actually the phone I usually use for the wireless mic. Yeah, and I don't even have that part turned on because I can't broadcast it right now because I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to put all the phones. All the phones are on the TP link still, but my machine I'm broadcasting from is on the D-Link, so I had to put all the phones on the D-Link and get all that figured out, put it all into OBS Studio. See, when you go to one of these, like Cam 1, it goes to the IP address of the phone. And see, I had them set to always get the same IP address. So that's what I'll need to do. is set everything to always get the same IP address. Once I'll just put the phones on there one at a time. Well, I mean, of course, I'll have to do them one at a time. I don't have but two hands. But yeah, I have two hands and two eyes. Okay, maybe you could do it if you were a wizard, a phone wizard, but I'm not a phone wizard. So anyway, I'll do them one at a time, and then I will save them. See, it fluctuates a lot, the signal strength. I've noticed that. So I'll do them all one at a time, and then I'll just go to this area. What is it? Yeah, right here, connected clients, and then I'll tell each one of these to keep that same IP address. That's the first thing I want to do is this one, but I won't even try to do it. I mean, I could. But it might might give me an abrupt end to the video. So yeah, I won't. I'm tempted to because it'd be neat if it worked, but I'll find out whether or not it works before. And then if it works without rebooting the router, then I can do it. One thing, I don't want to reboot the router over and over, because when this one reboots, since the TP-Link's, the daisy chained on it, it's number 2 now, then that means the internet connection is down while this is rebooting, and there is somebody up now that would be, noticing that. So I definitely don't want to keep rebooting it over and over. Okay. Well, I think I've made a long enough rambling video about this, but it's up and going. I'm going to leave them all running now. If the signal is even weaker, I know it's working because somebody was in the living room using the tablet, and they didn't say anything about it not working, so it is working with them both on. And it's 8:18 in the morning now. I'm tired. I've been up since, when did I get up? About 8 last night. Okay. All right, so there we go. I think that's good enough. Oh, I didn't get a notice saying that they're back up yet in my email. That's the notice saying they were down, and I should get a notice. See, I'll use a couple of different monitoring things. Uptime Robot. Oh, those are both Uptime Robot. Well, it tells me when, like, say, bishopco.com is down, us.2 is down. And the main one is, the actual main IP address, the one that actually goes to it, is us.2. And, yeah, I really probably should have already got those notices, I would think. By now, it's been a few minutes. But, let's go to, make sure it still seems to be working. It is acting kind of funny. Working and not working. Not sure. Oh, I hit the enter button again and it had come in. It's coming in slow. I don't know why. I would blame it on the server, except being tired from me, but it hasn't. But I just rebooted it earlier, thinking that maybe that would make it work earlier, just to make sure. I didn't really think it was the problem, but when I hit, what I did is I clicked up there, and then hit enter, and I guess it just, I don't know. But it's working and not working. It could be that it's still not completely finished setting everything, finished with all its interaction with no, that was not coming in fast either. Oh, no, it was because of that trailing. You don't want a trailing forward slash when you use an IP address. See, that came right in. Bishop code. Now it could be that I have one in my history that's not typed, not spelled right. Bishop code us.2. That's weird. When you do it that way, it comes in slow. Well, I don't think it's down. I'm not really sure. Maybe this is something I'm finally discovering. Sometimes I get a bunch of notices saying can't be reached, and it'll only be just for a few minutes, and then it'll quit that and then start working again. Maybe this is like really heavy traffic on this, free DNS forwarder thing. Maybe it's gotten more than they can really handle. That went right there. It's not perfect when you check your own IP, like I said, because you're not ever completely sure whether if it's not coming in, then you know it didn't take the local network route to your server. But if it's coming in real quick, it doesn't 100% tell you that. And I said that works. It doesn't 100% tell you that everything's okay. Well, I'm not gonna. You know what? It could be that. It very well could be me having that half set up. Where is it? Dynamic DNS. It could be this right here. I need to disable that. Alright, so I'll disable that and I'll save my IP address, and then maybe I'll be alright. But I'm almost certain that's going to reboot it. So I guess, next time I get back to working on this, I will kind of try to remember to report back what I discovered. Yeah, that's acting funny, working and not working. And I haven't got a notice saying it's okay yet. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this video and do that, and then I'm going to quit. All right, it's done. Bye-bye.